think with sort of the way social consciousness is at the moment, when I wrote it at the time, social consciousness, more people was talking about race, and this is when the first gen Black Lives Matter movement popped up. So yeah, like 2016, 2017, like them times there, you know, when it was like in America was getting a bit wild and that, do you know what I mean? So, and it just made me think, I was like, raw, like where do I fit in society in sort of like Britain, London as a black man, like, because you know, I'm light skinned or whatever, but I'm black basically. It doesn't matter, because if the white supremacists coming down the road, like whatever, Nazis and that, they're not going to think, oh yeah, he's half on our team or whatever they might think when they look at me. They're just going to see a black man. So it doesn't matter, even if your skin's pale or like whatever, if you've got that wide nose and a nappy hair, bruv, you're ops to them, innit? So yeah, and it just made me think about, you know, like all the times in my life when like, so obviously I got that bar where I'm like, the amount of times I've been at Shubs and been compared to actually not that one, the Bob Marley thing, because that's a true story. I was at my brethren's party in Shepherd's Bush, yeah, and like me and this guy was just randomly talking, some random like a bit older white guy, like about 45, and then like a bit of a geezer in it, yeah, just talking, and then he just like out of the blue, man's like, love Bob Marley, you know. I'm like, okay, so like, I know he obviously he means it endearingly, innit, like love Bob Marley, like trying to see that sort of, yeah, that's a way in to sort of be on a level with you. But it's like, what if I didn't like Bob Marley? I mean, I do, yeah, Bob Marley's the best, innit? But what if I didn't? That you're assuming, because I'm black, that I love Bob Marley. Just because of how man looks, innit? So that don't really make no sense. And then other little things as well, yeah? Like this one, I'm like, this is a tricky one. I don't know if it's just because I'm from London or if it is because I'm black or both. But say for instance, like, I used to go to these parties in Tottenham, yeah, these warehouse parties, and there was a group of women there, yeah, and like talking normal, and then they start saying bruv and in it and stuff like that. It's like little things like that, yeah. It's like I didn't really think nothing of it, yeah, but it's a little bit racist because I didn't really notice them do it to the white dons that was at the party that said bruv and in it as well, you know. And like once again, I don't know if they're trying to do it so they can feel more, make me feel more comfortable in interacting with them, or vice versa. But to me, it just makes me stand out. Do you know what I'm saying? And then at the same party, once as a Halloween party, I'll never forget this, man. Bro, there's this woman, and she's French, yeah, so she's white, innit? And she literally, she was covered in head to toe in like black ink, bro. And so obviously I'm like, I was a bit waved in it, so I was like, bro, what's this blackface thing? She's like, I'm darkness personified. I'm like, no, bro, I'm looking at you and I just see blackface, like, allow it, yeah? And that's the thing, yeah, I think, like, do you remember, like, a few weeks ago when they was taking all the stuff that's got blackface off, like, Netflix and all of that? I see white people complaining, and I'm like, bro, we're not asking you to do a lot, you know, but could you just not do blackface, like, don't say the N-word, don't do the blackface. All the other things you're going to have to learn over time, but please just don't do these two main things. Why should I have to do that? Because we said so. Google it and you'll see that blackface has very negative origins, yeah? They're mocking black people, bruv. Don't do it, because you're carrying that on. If you persist and, you know, keep doing it, then you're carrying that on. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I kind of went off on one, but that's essentially what inspired the tune. And like, yeah, I had the first verse and chorus for ages, yeah, and I was like, I need someone with more wisdom on this, like, so I had to draw from Rodney, innit? And like, I sent it to him, yeah, and like, I never ask for features, bruv. I'm just like, even if I've known someone for 15 years and that I'm my best friend, I never ask for features. I'm just like, I'm not that guy, innit, yeah? I think it's just because I've produced for so many people, I don't want people to think I'm trying to blow off next man's name or whatever. But in this case, I was like, I need Rodney, man. So I sent it to him, yeah, and he was like, I'm not sure, you know. I was like, what? I was devastated, bruv. He's like, I'm not really sure, bruv. I was like, bruv, just try and write something like little 8-bar. I don't mind. I'll take scraps, bruv. You get me? I don't mind, yeah. And then like, he come to my yard. I was like, bro, he had to come and do something for one of his things, innit? Like revoice something. And then he come to my yard, and I played him the tune. He's like, let me hear that thing again. Played it to him, and he's like, oh, there has got a bass line. I was like, yeah. So obviously he's listened to it on his phone, innit? He didn't hear the sub, and Yeah, so yeah, obviously he did the verse and that. I was like, oh man, what P on the tune, man, you know what I mean? So yeah, like the chorus, I was trying to go for like a bit of a lovers rock feel, like a bit more melodic. Like the verse is a bit dark, and then the chorus is a bit lighter, which is sort of like thinking about it now. It's almost like analogous of being mixed race. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, kind of like a contrast and shit. You know? Yeah, man. And then like yeah, I want to shoot the video in Brixton because I think there's a pretty good like representation of yeah, both sort of worlds, and like the way Brixton's getting a bit more gentrified as well, but then it's still Brixton at the end of the day. It's kind of like being someone that's like light skinned and shit. It's like, yeah, I'm black, but there's a lot of things about me that's a bit white. Do you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a bit hard to differentiate and just be like, this is what it means to be black, this is what it means to be white, because we're always, as a race and as humans and civilization, we always bring new definitions what it means to be whatever we are. So it's definitely, yeah, definitely parts of me I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a white thing for me, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, and I guess it's like I want people to hear the tune and think like, wow, I never really thought of it like that. I never thought me telling someone, oh, love Bob Marley, or like, oh, Jimi Hendrix is my favourite, shit like that. Like maybe they never thought that this is a bit racist because you're basically stereotyping a man just because of his skin colour and that, you know. It's like that. What's that woman's name? Is it Jane Elliott? You know Jane Elliott? She's an American white woman. She does all this like. It's like teacher type thing, innit? And she did that test, innit? It's what inspired that lyric about the eye colour thing. So the blue-eyed people got treated a certain way, the brown-eyed people got treated a certain way, innit? It's the same thing, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something you don't have control over. You're just born, and whatever complexion or whatever you've got, you just got to live with it. Do you know what I'm saying? That you've literally don't have a say, you know? So for people to treat you like, I mean, it's the same with sexism or any other ism. You know, it's like you don't have a say. Like we're just humans trying to exist, bruv. Like don't try to put me down. So, but it's complicated. You know, we live in a world that's run on white supremacy, and you know, there's that little girl over there, bruv. Yeah, you give her $2, you give her a white one, black one. She'll probably go for the white one. Maybe not now because times are changing, but you know, we think white is better. You know, like even like. In the music industry, look at all the main pop stars and that, they're all like the same complexion, bruv, all brown and that. Do you know what I'm saying? And where's the dark skinned pop stars? There ain't none. You get me? Even here, it's even worse, bro. Like in order for soul music to be successful, the white person has to sing that shit. They call that shit blue-eyed soul. What kind of bullshit is that? Ridiculous, bruv. So yeah. So yeah, I hope when people hear the tune, they feel a bit more like, wow, okay, maybe I was a bit racist before. Maybe I'll try and do some research and, you know, think about things. Because this is the thing though, even me, like, I'm saying all this shit, but as bare stuff, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially when it's like, in school, we'll talk history for black people. It's like, oh, slaves. Don't know what black kings or, I can't name no black kings or queens and shit. You know what I mean? Every time they're making movies about Egypt, you got white man, white women. Like, bro, it's Egypt hot as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we're black in the first place, because we've come from a place where there was more sun, and, you know, over generations, changes your DNA, or that's just how we, well, actually, we didn't change our DNA. Everyone's from Africa anyway, so it's like, as everyone migrated, the lack of, you know, vitamin D and the sun made people not as dark, basically, so, yeah. Yeah, man. We just got to educate ourselves, people. That's basically it, man.